over the national emblem, which is atop the Sansad. The politics, of course, has been gathering steam, and this time around, Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has put out a series of tweets, one after the other, where he says that one must appreciate the impact of the angle, the height and the scale when comparing the two structures. If one looks at the Sarnath emblem from below, it would look as calm or as angry as one wants it to be. In fact, he's also put out a series of these tweets which shows the dimensions of the two, and he insists that if the original dimensions were to be kept, then remember the Sarnath Ashoka stambh was at ground level, as opposed to how the emblem atop the parliament is at a considerable height, which is why the dimensions had to be tweaked so that it would be visible. Otherwise, it would simply not be visible. In fact, you also had Hardeep Puri pointing out that earlier the original Ashoka stambh, the height was only 1.6 meters high, and the current emblem, it is there, is almost 6 times as high. It is 6.5 meters as high, which is why you must appreciate that it will be looked at from a different angle, and since it is there at a different altitude, a different height as well. Let me go across to Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan, who's joining us, I believe, with all the tweets, series of tweets which have been put out by Hardeep Singh Puri. So Madhav, over to you. Tell us, what has the Union Minister said?
Well, yes, this is the Union Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, and he very clearly, of course, is putting out these tweets. He says that a sense of proportion and perspective is required. Beauty is famously regarded as lying in the eyes of the beholder. So is the case with calm and anger. The original Sarnath emblem is 1.6 meters high, whereas the emblem on the top of the new Parliament building is a huge 6.5 meters high. So almost 4 times the height is what he's saying. He also goes on to say that if an exact replica of the original were to be placed in the new building, it would be barely visible beyond the peripheral rail. The experts should also know that the original placed in Sarnath is at ground level, while the new emblem is at a height of 33 meters from the ground. He then, of course, has given these descriptions of the height and the dimensions and the proportions of the two of those structures. Also goes on to say that one needs to appreciate the impact of angle, height and scale when comparing the two structures. If one looks at the Sarnath emblem from below, it would look as calm or angry as the one being discussed. So this is the national emblem in the new Parliament. This is, of course, an image that has been taken from a height. And this is the Sarnath Ashoka lion capital, which also you can see, of course, the teeth protruding, because this shot has been taken from a low angle. Also goes on to say that if the Sarnath emblem was to be scaled up, or the emblem of the new Parliament is to reduce to the size, there would not be any difference. Essentially what he's saying is that because the emblem is A, of a much bigger size,
right,
and B, it has been taken from a lower angle, so that perspective is what contributes to the manner in which one sees the image of those lions.
Also for the fact that the emblem is put at a great height, which is why it needs to be larger than life, and the dimensions had to be tweaked so that it would be visible beyond the periphery of the entire Parliament roof structure and the railing which is there. Thank you so much, Mother, for putting that into perspective. With that, a short break. Don't go anywhere. We're returning in 2 minutes.